I like this song. It sounds kind of drunk. Alright. Ah. Turn my light on. There we go. Ah. Hi everybody. I'm Dragonmun, and this is my Twitch channel. The background song sounds drunk. Can you hear it? I mean, I suppose it's pretty quiet. It's super loud in my headphones. But, yeah. Regardless, that's fine. So last week, we decided that this week was going to be well, actually, 2 weeks ago, we decided that a week ago would be my Rambly show. But I canceled last week, so this will be my Rambly show. It is a nice ambient background song. And yeah, a little more fun than the, what is it, Space Core, I think it's called, that dominate the Purple Planet website. So I have to seriously dig through and try to find more, because, yeah, I like having variety. But anyway, so back to the rambling show. Oh, hello, Whisperfire. Okay. So, yeah, this week is the rambling show. And since I canceled last week, I have actually quite a bit to talk about. The first being that just after the last live show, or last stream that I did, the tarot cards that I worked on actually came out. And let me pull them up here. They actually sold out, like, immediately. But you can see on Amazon here, it looks like they're back, which is good. So, yay! Of course, none of their preview images here have any of the art that I did, but that's okay. I think that's because this technically counts as a book with cards, as opposed to cards with a book. Yeah, see right here, it says paperback. That's funny to me. So, yeah, I was hoping to have the ability to show those off at the book show, but I haven't even gotten my, like, contributor copy yet. So that's fine. Speaking of that book show, man, that was so interesting. So you know how, like, last stream, I was just a complete nervous, utter wreck when talking, and that I confessed that I started these Twitch streams so that I can try to get more comfortable talking to a crowd or whatever. Well, it seems I wasn't the only one. Like, literally every other author there, and the showrunner who, you know, had continued running shows and events, you know, throughout the whole thing. We were all just awkward ducks. It was so weird. It's like we completely forgot how to people. So, and actually, I have to be, like, super thankful for show setup, because, like, the show setup was in such a small room that it was just, like, the worst clusterfuck. And because it was so bad, it was like the icebreaker for all of us. Forgot how to people. Yeah, yeah, I don't even know where I picked that up from. But it's accurate. I completely forgot how to people. But yeah, with this icebreaker setup thing, oh man, I like, there were a number of artists there. want to say over 50, but I'm not 100% sure. I just know that we had 3 rows in this tiny little banquet hall that um, was, then they didn't provide us like the table sizes that they said that they would. We actually got those little drink tables, which are like a foot wide, a foot wide, and then 5 feet long. And I'm glad that I purchased a whole table to go to the show with, because 2.5 feet for your own stuff is crazy. And many authors were sitting there just shoulder to shoulder. But we all managed to, after setup, not step on everyone's toes too much, and we're in there about as comfortably as we could get. Then the crowd, the attendees, I guess, also forgot how to people, because there was a lot of just standing and staring and kind of just awkwardness all around. I guess somewhere along the line too, word had gotten out that it was like a romance only show, which was not the case. There were a number of fantasy art authors there, a number of the 2 children's book authors, and a smattering of horror authors. We had this one inspirational author as well. And so with the crowd thinking it was primarily a romance show, there was kind of not a lot of sales, and a lot of people asking if there was sex in my book. And I was like, no. There's kind of allusions to it. And then they're like, oh, whatever, and would leave. Then, I guess because it was right at the start of Pride Month, there was a lot of seeking out LGBTQ plus, fiction. And I had just flat out, I had one girl who's like deadpan stared at me after going through all my art, reading the back of my book, was just like, I only read LGBTQ romance. Goodbye. And I'm like, wait, what? Okay. That's fine. That said, the person to the right of me, LP or AP Foot, here, let me pull up her website. No, I don't want to sign up for your mailing list. Let's see. Yeah, her website here. She's pretty much all romance, and she is an absolute hoot. She literally gave me a bag of dicks. Most of them were chocolate. One was glow in the dark. And about the size of a quarter. She's fun. So if you guys are into that, then I will leave a link to her website. Actually, I can just drop it in the chat here. That'll make that easy for me. Beep. So, yeah. But yeah, she was an absolute hoot. She definitely saved some of the awkwardness when, about through the second half of the day when people were like, do you write romance? I was like, no, but she does. And I'd point, to her table. And yeah, so that was cool. Also tried to, yeah, not sure what I was trying to say there even, but we'll go back to the thing here. Don't need bitey lips on the stream the whole time. But yeah, so the rest of us who were not romance just kind of stared awkwardly at each other. My friend Nick, he's actually also my realtor, and he's awesome. He had a table like front and center, like you couldn't have beat his table. It was awesome. And while I feel so bad for him because he actually does have a romance series. I'll just pull up his website too. There we go. Yeah, this is Nick. Ha. But he has a romance series too, and I'm not sure which of them they are, but like because he's a dude writing romance, a lot of the people who were specifically asking for romance were just like offended almost by him being there. Thankfully, from what I've seen, his fantasy series, which he's gonna kill me for saying this, kind of like in the sales pitch reminded me of the Dresden Files, and I was like, okay, I need to get a hold of that too. So I actually bought his book, and they seemed like they were going pretty well. Whisperfire says, I didn't realize romance was such a niche market. There's actually a whole big thing on that. So, like, I believe there's even documentaries, because, like, romance was so niche that publishers were just like, oh no, ew, this is stupid. And aside from, like, the big one, like, back in the 70s, nobody would touch the genre with a 10-foot pole. And there's like, they basically, and this is probably why I'm running into these problems with these book shows, because the community decided that the best way, since they weren't getting picked up by publishers, that they'd have to do everything themselves. And one of the ways that they got around it was by having book conventions. And one of the notable ones I can remember was more recent, called Authors After Dark, and that one actually transitioned into Literary Love Savannah, which I went to a few years back, and definitely stood out like a sore thumb there too, being a non-romance author. And I found out about this, Tampa, India, whatever, TIABC. I found out about that one from, one of the people at Literary Love Savannah. And so while I don't particularly want to go back to Literary Love Savannah, I'll stick around for these, shows by Anytime Author Promotions. But that said, a lot of their shows are romance only, so I'm not going to those. White Elk writes, what? I don't think they need to be turned off by him being a male who writes romance. Yeah, I don't understand that either, because he's really awesome, and for the genre, why would it be women only? Like, men, there's literally the other half of it. I don't know. But, whatever. I actually, I found him a group, of romance, well, a romance authors particular group, like fan group. And, they loved him, so I thought he would, definitely do better at these shows, but I don't know. Maybe it's the weirdness with that same author with the huge fan group is also the one that wrote the Magic Treehouse books. I don't know. There's just a weird novelty to that. Let's see. White Elk. Yeah, Whisperfire. Romance isn't really my thing either, but I can appreciate the hell out of the marketing strategies, that this whole genre of people, put together. So kudos to them. White Elk writes, I think that should embolden people to want to read his book. Because maybe he's got a beautiful male insight into romance. Yeah. yeah, his insight is what the Facebook group that I, introduced him to all said. So yeah, they love him there. And yeah, I don't remember where I was going with all of this, but yeah. Oh yeah, that the show was awkward for everyone involved. Well, um, there was a really cool photographer there, and the photos that he's taken haven't come out yet because he had to travel. But I definitely got a 90s new metal style photo with the first authoress that I mentioned, AP Foot. Yes, the bag of dicks that she gave me was already distributed by the time we did that photo, but otherwise it would have been in there. So I guess that should have been the 90s band name, Bag of Dicks. Yeah, that would be funny. Um, let's see. Whisperfire writes, makes me wonder of did words slipped out of the event being focused on. Um, I, it might have had. Okay, so the word getting out about it being a romance only show might have had something to do with the fact that the majority of the authors there, well, yeah, the majority of the authors there wrote, are romance writers, and the there was a lot of last minute changes that made the projected attendance to the event just kind of drop. One was the, oh gosh, 3 months out, the original venue was just like, nope, COVID, you absolutely 100% cannot have an event here. And Virginia, the lady who runs the show, kind of panicked because she she wanted to have the event because all of the authors, voted that we would, because we knew that we would be vaccinated by the time that the event happened, if we weren't already. And so she struggled to find a new venue and got one like really close. I think it was a hotel in the same general plaza, which is impressive. And so she was able to transfer, what there, but that has the thing of, there was a uncertainty about whether or not the event would happen, so a lot of people just tuned out. And then there's the venue change, which a lot of people also, just tune out. And oh, holy shit! Wow, thank you, Angie. If I could, I would give you a hug right now, because oh gosh, with the house stuff, like every penny is needed. I'm gonna cry. That was unexpected, and I love you. Okay, okay, I'm composed. But yeah, so there was like a general lack of traffic to the show, and the romance, like the fact that the vast majority of the authors were romance, they were, if you look at how we all advertised and pitched, what information that we could, the majority of the audience that was reached is still romance. So it just happened to be that way. Which is a little stressful. Not as stressful as the the night before event, though. My goodness. Let me tell you guys. All right. So there's supposed to be, usually these shows are 2-day or 1 day with a special event the night before. And we were going to have that special event on the Friday, where we would all meet at the fancy ass restaurant across the street, right there on the beach. Since this was in St. Pete, no, it was Tampa Bay, right, like right on that border ish. I don't know, but we went and ate at Whiskey Joe's, which I think I have their. I don't have their website for that. It's basically just whiskeyjoes.com. And when we, I stayed at my sister-in-law's, and the last time I had an event, a writing event in Tampa, the same writing event actually, I brought her with because she's a screenwriter. So I wanted her to be in the author meet and greet and do some networking for, whatever she can too. So I brought her with me to Whiskey Joe's. Well, the whole time that we were like driving from her condo, because she lives in Tampa, the whole time we were driving from her condo to Whiskey Joe's to meet the other authors, like the heavens opened up and were angry. Like the worst storm just kind of appeared, and I have to laugh because that just seems to be how it is with, pre-convention events out there. So we get to Whiskey Joe's. I decide, fuck it, valet parking, is nice and under the awning, and I will just, give these people my car. And there was no problem with that. But the storm was raging in the water all around us, because it was literally on the beach. Like, the restaurant itself stood out over the water. It was like its own pier, just giant restaurant thing. And while we were waiting on like the outside dock, in front, between the valet parking and the restaurant itself. And all of a sudden I heard this weird zap, like a static zap. And immediately followed by thunder. Like, seriously? You know how lightning does those little tendrils kind of before it finds a path to conduct through? I think, like, what I heard was one of those little paths, and, like, that was terrifying. So, we ran inside immediately, and I texted, Virginia to see if the author meetup was still actually happening there, because the storm was insane. And she's like, no, we've had an emergency convening at the hotel bar and grill. And I was like, fuck. Because I already put, that we were going to be waiting there. And I already, checked my car with the valet. And so me and my sister-in-law decided to just sit at the, eat at the restaurant. And then we would go over after the storm passed. And, oh man, it ended up being amazing. So, like, we got this amazing view, like, right there at the window facing out into the bay. So, once the storm, like, the lightning lessened, animals started coming out, and we could see them in the water. There were dolphins. Pretty sure I saw a sea turtle. Then, like, there were these adorable little, I guess they were terns, but these tiny little birds that, like, were flying eye level with the window so that they can get a good view of the water, and then they would just, like, stop flying and crash into the water head first to get whatever it was they had. They're hunting fish, obviously, but they looked so ridiculous, but it was so cute. So we actually ended up staying there a little longer than we anticipated, just so that we could watch these birds do their thing. Oh, and I got to see a baby dolphin, and that was adorable. Hey! But after the storm, we paid, got my car, drove across the street, parked at the hotel, and came in to try to find everybody, but I guess the meeting really kind of had died down by then, like the meet and greet, because only like Virginia and her kids and like 2 other people were there. So not to be, too awkward, I ended up ordering like the most expensive cheap cheesecake I'd ever. Whatever. I didn't want to be in the bar being like, yes, I was here to see people that aren't here now. Sorry. So, it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, White Elk writes, oh, that sounds amazing. Pretty show and good food. And yeah, oh yeah, I didn't even go into how good the food was. Like, they had gumbo. And I love Cajun food. And this, like, I don't know how to say. If you are on the Gulf Coast, anywhere in the United States, if you're along the Gulf of Mexico, chances are the Cajun food that you order will be just as fucking tasty as it's supposed to be. And it was so good. I seriously was tempted to order like another round of it, but I would have exploded from spicy food. Such a good experience. Yay. Yeah, oh gosh, awkward transition here, but speaking of tasty things, I forgot. So I mentioned last stream that I had, at the behest of my friend, made Shiboa teas, like teas themed around the characters of my novel series. And she actually yesterday released the first review of those teas. So here, let me pull that up for you guys. In theory, I should have this. Pause the music because we want to be able to hear her. Okay. Screen share. Yeah, here we go.
Before we move on to another fandom box, I wanted to show you one of my favorite fandoms through tea, which is Shiboa by H. Gorlitz Scott. This is a high fantasy series, and the main character's name is Dragonera. And today we're going to be looking at her tea, which is a black tea. It contains ginger, cloves, cardamom, vanilla, cinnamon, with accents of lavender flower. We're going to be steeping at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 100 degrees Celsius,
look how awesome,
for about 3 minutes. In this high fantasy epic, Dragonera is born into situations that she can't control, but fights back to find her own way, find her own life, and escape the prisons that she's known. And this tea is likewise strong, but also has notes of sweetness underneath. There's the vanilla that sort of evens it out. It's basically a chai with vanilla and lavender, and I think it all evens out. It's really nice. Before we move on to another fan...
I don't know how to pause that. So, yeah, I was excited to see that, and I'm so happy that she likes the tea. Because I kind of... Well, the reasons that she stated are why I picked the flavors that I did. Because I was hoping that they would work out that way. And oddly enough, it is better, like Dragonera's tea in particular is better hot. Flag's tea, actually, I didn't intend it because I just picked all the spiciest things that I could, but that tea tastes exactly like the chai that they sell at Wawa, which, if you guys aren't familiar with it, Wawa is a Eastern United States gas chain that has a full serve like counter kitchen in the middle. But so Dragonera's tea works better as just a regular, kind of like a dessert hot tea, something with cookies, whereas Flag's tea is definitely better as a iced latte. Because otherwise it's, all that spicy with all that hot is just a little painful. So, I don't know which one she's going to review next, but I will definitely share it on, everything when it comes out. Yeah. I'll do it with the new tool I found. Social media is hard, y'all. Really. And I found a service called well, thanks to my friend Alethea, who I thought was some sort of social media like addict. She had a service called Smarter Q, spelled. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna put it in the chat here. Eh. There we go. SmarterQ.com. It's just, smarter, QUEUE. And what that does, like what that service does, is it allows you to schedule posts across multiple platforms, but it also allows you to like reuse posts automatically. So one of the biggest things that I had trouble with in terms of social media was promoting like the regular shit. So like, I wanted to share my book reviews, and keep that like going without having to remember to do it every other day. And this lets me do that. It also lets me post to like, I have it currently set to 4 different social media platforms. So it lets me post to 4 of them at a time. And it lets me keep track of like all the analytics for the posts. And by proxy of that, lets me like see the engagement on those posts. So like if someone comments on it, I can see that there's a comment on it and go in and reply. But that's here nor there. My phone actually does a better job of that. But with this, I think I'll probably be posting more artwork online again, because, well, it's been a year since I really did do that. If you go to my Instagram, my most recent art is last year's Smogust stuff. So, yeah, that's bad. Instagram was actually, like, probably the hardest social media platform for me. Because, like, my art is on my computer. I don't save all my art on my phone. So I'd have to save my art in Instagram size. Then, like, Hootsuite just fuck all, which is what I used to use. And since it went all stupid, I was having to, like, text myself my art, or actually I used Google Hangouts to do that. And then I'd have to go on to my phone specifically for Instagram and post it. And it's just, fucking hated it. But this connects to Instagram, and it does this cool thing where it actually, like, will post the whole image instead of an awkward square. And I don't know how it does that, but, like, if you guys saw the announcement for today's stream, you can see that it's a long rectangle as opposed to a square, and it posted just fine, and I'm so freaking relieved. The White Elk writes, it also gives you a report on your account, I just learned. Like a report card where it shows you your analytics, or like it trips up the algorithms and makes the social media mad. Because I'm honestly worried about that, simply for the fact that, like, I found a whole list of banned hashtags for Instagram, and in parentheses, also Facebook, and stupid words that, like, come up in regular conversation are on there. As a joke, we all laughed about Miley Cyrus being one of those banned hashtags, but if mentioning her is, going to, put a flag on you and then have you reviewed for Facebook jail, it's like, what the fuck? One that really seemed to be a problem is DM, which I get means direct message for the social medias, but we all know it as dungeon mastering or dungeon master, and like, no wonder my nerdy friends are having such a hard time, marketing their dungeon mastering service. Like, they are professional DMs. They will literally run a fully cast voice acted game session for you, and the algorithms on both of these, platforms just kick their asses. So, Whisperfire writes, Facebook jail? Huh. I must be really slacking on stuff. It's... I don't know. There's so many... like, my friend Amy, she typoed. And it was a very innocent typo. And the fucking typo actually didn't... What was it? It was for Animal Crossing. And it was talking... She had to talk about using a hoe. And... No, she didn't. It wasn't a typo. No, sorry. She had to talk about using a hoe to do something in Animal Crossing. And the fact that the word hoe was in this sentence, she got like slapped, thrown in Facebook jail for 2 weeks. She couldn't post, which is, I can't even imagine how frustrating that is. So, yeah, I'm worried that I'm going to trigger something with this. Yeah, exactly. Holy crap. I'm worried that I'm going to trigger something with this at some point. So I'm kind of pushing towards everybody signing up for my newsletter. Again, just because, like, if I disappear from the social media platforms for any reason, I can let everyone know through the newsletter. Let me get you guys the address for that. Subscribe by email. There you go. Oh, it's not hard. It's just dragonman.com/newsletter. I forgot my own URL. Alternatively, if you guys are on Discord, I have a Discord server that's under the community tab at dragonman.com, and you can just come right in and be a part of the server, because if that's my that was my replacement for my message boards and the failed Facebook group and general chat service. Like, y'all, I really like Discord. So much, I don't even know why, like, but if I try to talk about Twitch here, I will slip up and talk about Discord. I guess because both are audio channels to me. Whatever. So, I would advise signing up for that too. Yeah. But, where was I going? Yeah. Okay. But, yeah, I like having thanks to Smarter Q, I have a place to kind of manage everything again. Because Hootsuite, which was my, like, go-to before, just really crapped out and, like, dropped their perks down to 2 social medias and not a lot of, like, there's just connection issues all the time, whereas this seems to be doing good. Yay. And it lets me kind of keep track of, my, well, interactions, for lack of a better word. So, yay. Oh, I missed this. The White Elk writes, sometimes people use common hashtags for illicit things, like an underworld stand. Fuck those people. God damn it. Yeah. So what underworld slang would Miley Cyrus be? Okay. Who else did we find that was on that list? That was funny. So, yeah. Oh, I need that. I need, the ease of management with, like, the social media stuff, too. Especially now because, like, I'm closing on my house in 2 weeks. I'm terrified, and there's so much paperwork. And then after we actually get the house, there's going to be so much work. So yes, this service will help so much. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. Elk, I hope, we'll see you again next week. Um, that's before you head out, actually. I would like to have a poll again on what we will do next week. Um, I don't remember. I'm going to try something in the chat here and see if it pulls up the poll again. Nope. Friggin' hell. I got it to activate that one time. One time. Let me see if I can get it again. Or does anybody remember the... Because the poll is active. I activated it in the back end here. And... Let's see. Well, the options again, for topical things. I wrote self-publishing and... other. Oh, and Shavoa. Okay, so... I guess just type it in the chat there. What would you guys like to talk about next week? So, my options, as I wrote them, were Shavoa, self-publishing, and other. I can also talk about how I made this weird live 2D thing. This avatar of mine. Which I'm thankful for today, because I have all these like going outs and stress and stuff. I have the worst case of mask acne right now. So the fact that I don't, there is no saving this troll appearance I've got going with makeup this week. So thank you, technology, for giving me the ability to make this extraordinarily frustrating avatar of mine. Yeah, I can't get the poll to post in the group again. So. I find it funny that your... Whisperfire writes, I find it funny that your avatar's eyes blink separately. Hilariously, that's because I do. I very asynchronous blink a lot of times. My friend Sarah used to call me out for my fishwoman blink. Which was a reference to, oh my god, Billy and Mandy, the Grim Reaper cartoon that was on the Cartoon Network. Just one little passing thing in an episode. So, there we go. Oh, look, I tried. Anyway, so yeah, I don't blink quite in sync. Oh, that rhymed. Ew. Okay. Regarding the poll, I still can't get it to work. Yeah. Yeah. My eyes are also not even with each other. They're not level. So. And the next time we meet up, remind me and I can actually, like, show you my astigmatism. It's so weird. You can see how badly misshapen my eye is. Okay. Well. Oh, I just saw your comment on what Miley Cyrus could mean. No clue about that slang, but I can only guess something not good and possibly dirty. You are right on. It's gotta be. Especially with that song, Wrecking Ball song. I can see it being related to that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. There's a settings option here. Use repeat message. What? Yeah, this is insane. I cannot find the command to actually post the poll in the... Oh, my mouth broke too. Woohoo! Yeah, I can't find the command to post the poll. So, I'll just... copy paste your options here. And broke the chat for myself. I also have to make sure that I didn't... I give up. I didn't set you guys back to emojis only, did I? Okay. What topic? Okay, good. Whew. All right, cool. You know, we can, let's maybe do a mix, self-publishing with social media. How's that? Because, like, I guess it can all lump under self-promotion in a way. So maybe I'll skip a little bit of the technical details and we'll do a both. Okay. Because that'll give me a chance to really fully experiment with this service, and also like learn a little bit more. Because to be honest, I am not the marketing guru that I want to be, and no matter how much it seems like I try to figure out this shit, it just goes over my head. It's so elusive. But we can chit-chat about, like, what we've learned. Yeah. Okay, so I like that idea. And here we're pretty much at time. Yeah, Elk, if you get to hear this before, on whatever, that's what we're talking about next week. Self-publishing and social media. So, all right, that's gonna be a hopefully it's not more than, or me biting off more than I can chew. Anyway, yeah. All right, so I'll see you guys next week. All right, and thank you so much again. Thank you, Angie, for the donation. I love you. All right. And I will see you guys next week. Right? Bye.